Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Bass Masterclass. In part 2, Will and I are going to discuss your voice, which is your sound or your unique personal expression to the world. We'll discuss the importance of it and how it can be developed. The importance of it is based around this verse here, Psalm 139. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. And when I awake, I'm still with you. That's it. We are unique and you are unique. And there's only one of you. So you have a voice. So be confident in that and be confident enough to share that with the world. Now we're going to talk about how to develop it. You've got to silence the noise around you to hear your sound. Don't get distracted. Social media can be a huge distraction. Don't get thrown by thinking, I can't play that fast, or I don't have those skills. But maybe at the same time, maybe you do want to play fast. So don't get thrown by different styles and different people. Be aware of who you are and where you want to go. Don't compare. Another verse that talks about that is Proverbs 4:25. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left, and keep your foot from evil. I really like that. The careful thought. Put careful thought into where you're going. You might think, where do I start? Or how do I know what to spend time on learning? Because there's millions of songs out there and people to learn from. And this is where you silence the noise and you start to listen for what stands out to you. Who are you drawn to? Who do you like listening to? Who do you like learning from? What moments in songs stand out to you? I encourage you to learn them. What tones are you drawn to? Pursue them and discover them. That's your voice developing. Other people in your world may also help you develop your voice and open your eyes and ears up to new ideas. You may come from a punk background, but you are playing in a more pop style at the moment. Listen to and learn from what others may suggest. Don't lose yourself in your own uniqueness. Just add more layers of knowledge and skill to yourself that you can draw from. If you think you might be limited because you don't have access to Wi-Fi or data or being online to learn from others, what you do have is your imagination. And that is limitless. A voice isn't one-dimensional, it's expressive. When we speak, it's not just text without tone. Surrounding and supporting the words are emotion and expression. So take a moment and think about this. What do you see or hear or envision if I were to say to you, express peace? What do you see? What do you hear? What effects would you put on? What do you hear and what do you see if I was to say express joy? Or the roar of heaven's armies? What you're hearing now, what you're seeing, that's your voice. So pursue that because that is you. Here are some sounds that I've used or created lately to pursue a sound or an idea, which may or may not get used. One of my go-tos is reverb. Here's an example of that. So to me, that's got a feel and it creates a mood in the room. So I use that. I can use that for a certain reason. On the synth, we can create sadder and more reflective tones. Here's one created recently. That's one tone, and then another tone that's a bit more intense and driven is this one. So you can create tones and sounds and put notes and combinations together to express your voice and different emotions and feels, and then use them in songs that require that feel or that emotion to it.
Your voice is developed over time. A common mistake some musicians think is that gear will make you good, but that just is not the case. Tone and pedals are important, but good technique is more important. I think it's safe to say, Matt, that you and I have been working on our technique our entire musical career, for lack of a better word. And to be completely honest, you don't need a lot of pedals, a lot of gear to work on yourself as a musician. A joke that some of us guys all say is a tuner is all you really need, because it's true. Listen to other styles of music other than church music is another great example of how to develop your voice. I've said it in section 1, but listening to other styles of music is going to influence the way you play, and even when it comes down to technique, a night and day difference is fingers and picks that both sound cool, but there's a place for both. And I think it's really important that you learn from different styles to kind of experiment what your voice is, because your voice, like Matt said, is developed by your experience and what you want to express. I'll give a quick example of my bass tone. Clean and dirty sound is used at Hillsong, and they're often used separately. Where we play in the CC, which is our main auditorium, we like to split the bass sound into a clean sound and a dirty sound, and the sound engineers will mix the dirty in and out whenever they want a little more grit on the sound. So I want to give an example of that real quick. So here is my clean sound. Straightforward, just a clean bass sound, a little bit of compression on it, but it sounds great by itself. Now, a moment might require a little more attitude and a little more grit, and that's when I like to add a little bit of drive to it. I'm using a tube screamer to get just a little bit of high end, a little bit of mid-range, a little growl, and here's what that sounds like together. You can get this effect, and it will add a little bit of attitude, and it's great for fast songs. We like using it for bigger parts of the song when you just need a lot more growl, and I've found that this is a great way to achieve that very quickly, is to be able to just unmute your dirty channel and you have some automatic attitude and give some stank face to the song. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of Bass Masterclass. We'll see you in part 3. In part 3, we're going to focus on some of the foundations of preparation for church and the studio.